Many blessings to you. I hope that everyone is doing really well. And I feel like connecting today, and the last couple of videos that I've presented have been about oracle readings, just to kind of connect and open up that field for a conversation. But today I sort of felt inspired, with no rhyme or reason, to talk about the language that we use to communicate with the universe. And I guess I was inspired to offer a little video about that because I was doing some packing for the Holistic Expo that we're going to be holding here in Staten Island. I'm putting my books together, and as I was packing and taking an inventory, I came across, of course, my own book, which is entitled Mastering the Language of the Universe. And if you notice, it says by Blanca Greenberg. That's how long ago I released this book. And I don't know, it was probably about 10 years ago. And about 2 years ago, I took it out of print. For no rhyme or reason, I just did. Sort of like to make room for the rest of the books. And it was during that same year, in one of our first Holistic Expos, where this beautiful soul stopped by my table and said to me, you know, you don't know me. My name is Monica, I believe. I'm not sure. A soul, beautiful soul she was, though, and said to me, I read Mastering the Language of the Universe, and it changed my life. And I went to order it for someone, and it wasn't available anymore. You need to put that book back in print. And so I'm really grateful to her for the message, and for inspiring me to bring it back into print. And one of the reasons why I feel that this book is so important and the message is so important is because we don't always realize that whatever we're thinking, that whatever we're feeling is constantly being uh, received by the universe. And ultimately, it is those contributions that we make that contribute to the manifestation of something, of anything. And I kind of said a lot in those few words. So I like to use analogies. I use it in this book, actually, that the universe, so to speak, has containers. And this cup is empty right now. But if I were to fill it with something, then I would have a lot of coffee or tea, right? And slowly I start to sip it until it becomes again empty. That's sort of the way energy works. You know, we're always emanating feelings and emotions and thoughts that are energy in motion. And sometimes we think, may believe that those thoughts are our little secret, you know, that it's okay that nobody is hearing us say that we're afraid, or that we don't really believe in ourselves, or that we feel unlucky, or things like that. But the truth is that the most important element is hearing us, which is not only ourselves and speaking to ourselves in that fashion, but the universe is also listening and taking a contribution for whatever it is that we're putting out, because that is the true meaning of co-creation. We create the energy, and the universe takes that energy and uses it as seeds, if you may, to create the manifestation of, of anything. And so, of course, we've heard many times how we need to be mindful of what we say, mindful of what, you know, we talk about, and mindful about our thoughts. But again, this is the conscious side, but do we realize that the subconscious is also always thinking and feeling and putting out energy? And I find that it's funny a little bit in that we think it's a secret that we're the only ones who know that we're having these thoughts. And we could go on and be proactive and speak and interact with people, and they'll never know. Well, maybe they won't know, but I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and say that they may not know physically, but energetically we're also constantly speaking about the way we really feel to others. It's almost like we have invisible antennas that are constantly sending out vibration, much like the way an antenna works. An antenna, oh, we don't have those anymore. We have the internet and we have cable, but they pick up a reception, through frequency. And that's how they're able to transmit all these different channels. Well, energy works in the same fashion. And so if we think that we're not sending messages out because we're not verbally expressing them, we should really think again, because our emotional state and our thoughts are very vocal on an energetic level, even when we're not saying anything. So the message of that really is, it all comes back to us, to the best of our ability to be able to clean up whatever it is, to be mindful of our thoughts, of our feelings, to do whatever purifying or reconciliation work that we need to do in order to the best of our ability to just kind of keep ourselves as much as in alignment with the authenticity of what it is that we really desire, and to be able to express that both in expression and also in an energetic field. Yes? And so, as I was inspired to share that from finding this book, I also was sort of inspired to just randomly open it up and see what we have to hear today. And so I'm just kind of flipping it. I really don't know where we're gonna land. And here we are at page 34, and I'm just gonna read a paragraph or so that you can get an idea. Hopefully it'll resonate with what I'm sharing. Health and well-being. Another observation I've made is that many individuals feed both sides of creation when it comes to their health and well-being. On one side, they advocate healthy eating and exercise, and also claim to be very conscious of the power behind positive thinking and health. And yet, many of these individuals are also constantly feeding fear of illness around them, the common cold, viruses, and the likes. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm actually burning incense behind me. Or in front of me, I should say. And it got caught in my throat. They claim to believe in the potency and connection between having positive thoughts and a healthy spiritual body, but they secretly fear being sick. When a symptom develops in the body, they choose to seek medical advice and usually end up with a prescription for medication that can help with the symptoms, but may not truly get to the root cause of the illness. From a spiritual and holistic perspective, illness in the body is a reflection of disharmony and misalignment in the energetic field. In order to get to the heart of bodily misalignment, we need to get to the root cause of emotional disturbances. Well, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Obviously, I share a lot of different perspectives about energy and the different messages that we may be sending out into the universe. Uh, I'm just kind of looking and see. We attract the energies that we are holding. Can you imagine the power of the statement? We attract to ourselves the very energies that we're holding within us. Remember, energy is like a magnet. It sends out signals and will pull toward us the same energies that we are vibrating. Wow. And that is so very true. And again, it comes back to being authentic with what we're feeling. Because we can say that we desire so many different things, but if we're actually feeling something contrary, or feeling that, we're going to be heard and that we can't trust people, that energy is going to look to align itself, simply because we're putting it out, believe it or not, as a petition, even though it's a fear. The universe doesn't know how to decipher, and that's not its job, to decipher the fact that we're fearful of something. That is why we need to be very conscious and be deliberate in our feeding to the universe of our intentions. Yes? And so I kind of felt like I wanted to share that. Again, I was sort of inspired because I was preparing for the Holistic Expo, and I came across Mastering the Language of the Universe. It is just one of the many books that I have been graced to offer as a tool for guidance, for growth, for healing. And so I just felt inspired to share that today with you. As I said, when I recreated the YouTube channel, there's never gonna be any set format for what inspires me to come on and to share with you. Most of the time, it could be a reading, it could be an oracle, 3 card, guidance. But my hopes are to be able to share little tidbits of inspiration, whether it's with a book or an experience that I had at the office, or a beautiful conversation with one of my beloveds, or whatever. Yes? I hope that this inspires you in whatever way it was meant to. I hope that you received a little message and being conscious about your deliberate thinking and aligning your thoughts and your feelings. And remember that we have invisible antennas that are constantly sending messages out. Yes? Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to reconnecting with you. And as always, I leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. I hope that you have an amazing day.